Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Introverted Leadership Podcast. Have you ever wished there was an off switch, just something you could press, and all the noise, all the requests, all the pressure would pause for a moment? I had one of those days recently. It made me stop and think about how much hybrid work has changed us. Not just where we work, but how we focus, how we lead. Somewhere along the way, multitasking became the new baseline. Instant replies, constant pings, multiple conversations at once. And that day, in the middle of all of it, something happened that made me completely rethink what it means to stay present. Let me take you into it. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning. I was on a project call, listening to a stakeholder walk through some blockers. I was taking notes, thinking through next steps, mentally preparing the follow-ups. And then my laptop lit up. A message popped onto the screen. Quick question. Need your input now. Before I could respond, another message came in. Do you have a minute? And then my phone started ringing. Another stakeholder. Same project, different topic. Also urgent. So now picture this. I'm listening on one call, talking on another call, typing messages into two different chats, and trying to keep the threads straight in my head. Two conversations in my ears. Several conversations in my hands. All of them expecting clarity and answers now. And right in the middle of it all, I made a mistake. I sent the wrong message to the wrong chat in the middle of the wrong conversation. My stomach dropped. I froze, and I had one very real thought. When did multitasking become the new normal? What happened to focus? What happened to being present? And in that moment of overwhelm, something else hit me. This wasn't just multitasking. This was expectation. Because today, response time is interpreted as ownership. Availability is interpreted as presence. Speed is interpreted as value. If people can reach you instantly, they expect you to respond instantly. And if you don't respond instantly, it can feel like you're behind, even if you're deep in meaningful work. Hybrid work didn't just give us more channels, it created a culture of now. Slack pings, Teams notifications, emails, phone calls, calendar invites, chats in 5 different platforms. Every channel has a sense of urgency. Every ping feels like an alarm bell. And without realizing it, this expectation started shaping how we behave, how we prioritize, how we process pressure, how we show up as leaders. Before hybrid work, the world was simple. Meetings were in person. You could see who was distracted. You could see who was engaged. And if someone needed you urgently, they walked over to your desk. Work was linear, one problem at a time. But now, everything happens at once. And here's the tricky part. This new world of multitasking didn't happen because we wanted it. It happened because the benefits were real. Multiple channels increased productivity. We could move faster. We could run parallel work streams. We could collaborate asynchronously across time zones. We could handle quick decisions without scheduling a meeting. Hybrid collaboration unlocked speed. But it also came with a cost. Quality drops when you split your brain into 5 pieces. Messages get shorter and sometimes unclear. Context gets lost. Emotional tone disappears. And it becomes harder to tell what's truly urgent versus what's simply loud. There's a psychological tax we don't talk about enough. The constant mental switching, the hypervigilance, the pressure to be on everywhere, and the guilt when you're not. And this is where something fascinating emerges. People experience this pressure very differently. Some thrive under it. They move faster, get sharper, take decisive action. The pressure becomes momentum. Others go quiet, not because they're disengaged, but because their processing is inward. They're thinking deeply, not reacting instantly. But in a multitasking world, silence can be misinterpreted, and some freeze. Too many stimuli, too many requests, too many channels pulling at the same mental battery. Their clarity shuts down, and fear takes over. Layer multitasking on top of all that. Those differences become even louder. For introverts, multitasking feels like cognitive overload. Too many inputs, too many simultaneous threads, their mental energy drains fast. For extroverts, multitasking can feel energizing, at least for a while. They move fast, engage fast, switch quickly. But even extroverts burn out when everything is urgent all the time. So the real question becomes, if multitasking is the new normal, how do we make it sustainable? How do we protect clarity in a world that rewards speed? How do we stay present without falling behind? Here's what I've learned and what I'm practicing myself. Choose your channel intentionally. Not every question needs to be a call. Not every decision belongs in chat. Match the channel to the complexity. Replace multitasking with microtasking, short, focused bursts, boundaries that protect your attention. Use transparency as a tool. A simple message like, heads down for 20 minutes, will respond after, can buy hours of clarity. Respond to acknowledge, not to complete. Received, following up shortly. Moves the work forward without compromising focus. And most importantly, give yourself the permission to be fully present, with one conversation, one decision, one piece of work at a time. Because here's what I realized that Tuesday morning. Pressure doesn't reward speed. Pressure rewards clarity. And clarity only comes from focus. If you've been feeling stretched thin, pulled in 5 directions, trying to perform 3 roles at once, you are not alone. This is the new normal, but you get to decide how you operate within it. You can protect your focus. You can set boundaries. You can build practices that keep you grounded. And you can lead powerfully without being everywhere at once. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. You can find more leadership tools, stories, and introvert-friendly frameworks in my LinkedIn newsletter, listening to the Introverted Leadership Podcast on YouTube, and finding more resources on projectscenarios.com. Until next time, lead quietly but confidently.